Oh! What's up, chat? That's all I can give you. Also, you have to get used to me not screaming all the time. Because when I go to Japan, I won't be screaming in a fucking apartment building. You prefer elf boobs or orc boobs? I tried to generate hot orcs with AI, but it's actually way more hard to generate hot orcs because they don't know what to do with the tusks and stuff. AI doesn't have the advanced computing required to understand, like, making orc females buff but also feminine. Elves are just more traditionally attractive. I like ogre women, I think. This is why we artists are better than dumb AI. AI is trying, but it's actually not trying. It's just, you know, shitting out. See, if it was actually trying, then it would probably be getting better, but it's not, so... As someone who has been prompting quite a bit and have been watching other people's prompts, guys, question about Pokemon, because I never played Gold and Silver. Does Gold and Silver contain the Pokemons from Red, Blue, Green era? Yes? Okay. I think the reason will be, I'm asking that will become clear very quickly. I should be drawing. I used to have longer periods in which I wouldn't draw anything. But then I started listening to like a podcast regarding actual Japanese mangaka, like professionals, talking to each other about things they're worried about. And one person was like, I'm a professional. They had a reader question, and the reader was like, or listener question. The listener said, I want to become a professional mangaka. What do I do when I don't feel like drawing anything? And like their first answer was, if you want to be a professional, that means you're going to be drawing even more than you are right now. So, I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, shit, he's making a good point. You just sort of have to... You have to be okay with the reality that you're not going to allow yourself to move from your desk for 95% of your day. And if you're not okay with that, then, well, why are you even trying to go pro in the first place? Obviously, this is not an issue that applies to anybody here other than me, but... Resignation, I guess, is the word we're looking for here. I will say that learning how to develop resistance, just sit in front of your fucking computer screen, in this case I'm guessing, for really long periods of time, is also a skill in itself. And it is something you get more and more resilient at. 2 years ago I was doing DoorDash because I had like a goal to see how much money I could make just doing drawings and stuff, even though DoorDash wasn't exactly the most money efficient way for me to be making money. I should have been doing commissions, but I was doing that because I was like, I don't want to be sitting in front of my computer for more than 4 hours a day. And I was able to slowly increase that time period in which I was just like, I can be okay just like drawing for this period, just longer and longer. It's just like, you're just training yourself, just like you're training yourself to like run a marathon or some shit like that. Your brain becomes more resilient to the shitty life in which you're just moving your hand all day long. So, what is everyone doing right now, chat? Practicing kanji as I'm a break because I'm a masochist. As someone who is somewhat fluent in Japanese and hasn't had an opportunity to write kanji by hand in many, many years, and this is similar to a lot of Japanese people now because everyone writes shit on their fucking, you know, keyboard now. You forget how to write kanji if you don't literally write them by hand, because the memory of how to write a kanji is stored in like your hand memory, like what would you call it? Your muscle memory of your hand. It's not like your visual memory. So I can still read kanji perfectly fine, but when I fucking try and write them, I can't write them at all, and I'm like, what the fuck? But it's definitely in the muscle memory part of your hand, so you literally have to be writing it by hand. And when I go back to Japan and I'm forced to write shit by hand, like, every once in a while, then I'm like, oh wait, it's coming back, but... This is just Wani-Kani practice. I'll never write kanji. And what the fuck are you even doing? I don't even know what Wani-Kani is. You should watch the underrated series Read or Die. I will not. I don't watch anime anymore. To be honest. Yomiko Reedman is my waifu. Wow. How could I have predicted that? Perhaps it's because the only reason anybody talks about Read or Die is because they have a fucking glasses fetish. Shocking, I know. Learning to read more advanced kanji, it teaches you kanji via SRS, 60 levels of kanji. I don't know how I would learn how to read, honestly, at this point. Learn how to read Japanese and increase my kanji level. What I certainly would do is I would read shit digitally so I can just copy-paste the kanji instead of pulling out a fucking dictionary every time. That shit is hell. I feel like just reading, trying to read the newspaper is the best, like, digital articles of the newspaper is probably one of the best ways to learn kanji. Once you're past the reading shonen manga with furigana stage. That should be like stage 1 is reading manga with furigana. And then it won't be as painful. But when you have to start getting to like, I'm an adult stage, then maybe you try reading digital newspaper articles. Honestly, I'm not even sure what I want out of media at this point in my life. Curious what the reading level for Japanese newspaper is. It's really high, honestly. I think 99% of gaijin will never read a Japanese newspaper just like normally in their lifetime. For something that's supposed to be like a normal part of Japanese society, although like every country at this point, reading newspapers is dying out. It's surprisingly hard. Like, we can pull up a Japanese newspaper article right now and, like, just straight up fucking see what percentage of the characters I can read. Alright, here's Sankei Shimbun. Alright, what should we read? Jimin Sosai Sen Takaichi Shi. I'm not sure if this is the right way to read her name. That will always be a problem. Shutsubae. This means to announce candidacy, but I can't remember what the correct reading for it was. I know what it means. Oh, it is Shutsuba. See, I have to do this every single fucking time. Hayashi Kanbo Chokan to something ki kamogi zen kanjichou mo 10月4日 to kaiho. This means this is when voting starts. 自民党の高市早苗前経済安全保障前安全保障担当省は20日退陣を表明した石破茂首相 I don't remember the first name of the prime minister と総裁の後任を決める臨時総裁選に立候補する意向を固めた、can't read the name 前幹事長は立候補する意向を表明した。Can't read the name 官房官も意向を固めた。一方、自民は臨時総裁選を国会議員に加えて全国の党員・党友も投票する正規のフルスペック方式で行い、10月4日、党開放する方向で最終調整に入った。The huge difficulty is the names of people, which is like a massive problem because Japanese names, like, they do tend to have defaults, but a lot of the times the defaults on how to read the names are not necessarily correct. But I can't even remember the defaults half the time. So you have to actually know who the person is. Imagine if, like, you know how when you're watching like baseball and there's like some sort of Polish player and their name is just like a bunch of K's and R's and Y's and Z's and you're supposed to call them like Krasinski or some shit like that. It's like that, except if that's a level 1, this is like a level 25 because you just don't fucking know. Kira names are awful a bad or like the most recent example, but like a good example is like if I just put in like a super common name like Morita. This just means like forest what do you call it, rice paddy. Just two super ass simple combination of characters for a Japanese name. And they give you Morita as the number 1. But then if you go down to the bottom, there you go. It could also be, it could be Morita, but it could also be Morida, because ta can also be da as well. And it could also be Moruta, which I've never, literally have never heard. But there's like one person in Japan who has like Moruta instead of Morita. Like this. You guys should know what these characters are, because it's the name of your fucking waifu right here. These two characters. So this is Hyuga. You know, like your fucking Naruto waifu, trad wife. But yeah, look at the number of fucking reads there are for this character. It could be Himukai, which is like the literal read of heat to look at. It could be Hyomo, Hyuga, Utsui, Nikko, Himuka, Himuki, Hinga, Hyomo, Hyuga, Hinata, Higano, Hitachi, like the fucking corporation. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have like 20 readings. So it can get really bad. Hyuga is the most common reading of it. So basically you need to know what the person's name is beforehand and sort of backtrack. Isn't there also the thing with ha and wa using the same sign on some occasions, like the ha that defines the subject is read as wa? Yes, but that is part of grammar, so if you actually can speak Japanese, that's not really an issue. The name reading thing is a issue that Japanese people have no solution for, like actual Japanese natives have no solution for. So if you do get someone's name wrong, it's actually not a big deal because people literally have, there's nothing you can do about it except having furigana on everything, which people don't want to do in the first place. Japanese is like the Asian bullshit counterpart of English bullshit. I have some bad news for anybody who wants to learn Japanese. Japanese bullshit is like 100 times worse than English bullshit. I'm serious. You babies don't even know what you're getting into yet. Japanese has a higher floor and a higher ceiling than English, as someone who is capable of speaking both in terms of its general difficulty. It's why you see new students write out their names when they transfer to schools in anime. No, they have to write out their names on the blackboard, so when they show up, everyone can be like, a transfer student? Oh my god, he's so hot. I wonder if he'll date me. And then the other girl in class will be like, Baka! It's the Baka that ran into me this morning. Why are you the transfer student, Baka? And he's like, I didn't want to talk to you either. And she says, huh? It's important for them to introduce themselves at the front of the class so the rest of the class can be like, what's going on between those two? They sure don't seem to like each other. I'm sure they won't develop into a romantic relationship over the next 5 chapters. Don't you write your name because how your name written in Nipland is basically a lottery? Basically. Which Pokemon you love for being cool and which Pokemon do you love for other reasons? I like Hilda for being cool. Or I think Cynthia. I like Cynthia for being cool, and then I like Hilda for other reasons. And if you say that I can't treat Pokegirls as my own personal Pokemon and enslave them inside Pokeballs, I will ask you why not. What is stopping me? The technology is there. Ball, can you notice me, senpai? No. Senpais don't notice their kohai. That's what makes them senpai. The inside of the Pokeballs always sucks. You always have the mattresses on the floors. At least decorate them nicely. I'm sitting on a mattress on the floor right now. Imagine wanting anything more than just a mattress on a floor. It's the perfect environment, actually. Having mattresses elevated with like bed frames is actually it actually just makes it worse, if you ask me. Because like you can fall off the bed frame, and if you're too high, you can't really stretch out your legs onto the floor. It's legitimately a downgrade compared to just having the mattress on the floor. These Martha Stewart women will never understand this. They have to decorate and move furniture around. But men realize that they just need mattress on the floor, CRT TV, and their Nintendo 64 console. We put mattresses high precisely to test men and their ability to survive. I actually used to have my mattress on like a wooden bed frame. And I realized my life would be way more comfortable if I didn't have this uncomfortable wooden thing digging into my legs and stuff when I would roll around, and I just got rid of it and just started sleeping with the mattress on the floor, and it improved my life immensely. So I recommend everybody else do that as well. I did see a massive centipede in my room the other day on my ceiling. I'm afraid that height will not stop insects. If you live in a really tall building, if you're at a high enough height, then that does stop insects, actually. I'm on the second floor. What more do I need to do? There's nothing you can do. You just have to learn to love the insect. The insect is your friend. Have you guys seen the videos of giant ass centipedes killing snakes and stuff? Look, guys, look at the motherly centipede protecting its eggs. Literally already a better mother than 75% of modern women. It does look like sushi, doesn't it? Of course, people are drawing art of it because it's adorable. This looks in particular creepy right here. This color combo right here. Holy shit, look at that. Haha. It's not terrifying at all thinking about this cute girl crawling around on your face while you're asleep. Nothing horrifying there, buddies. Centipedes can be venomous. They are mostly venomous, I believe. There might be some that aren't venomous, but I think they're mostly venomous. Most bug eat shit and other detritus, so you shouldn't really eat them. Remember when we were like, you should eat the bugs? And everyone was like, hey, that sounds like a good idea. And then we realized that that wasn't a good idea because people aren't eating bugs for a reason, because they're not really edible because they're full of chitin or whatever, that shit. Yeah, that happened. Grubs and other exclusively fiber-eating bugs can be eaten, but it will damage your stomach if you don't have the gut bacteria for it. Guys, I was wondering, is cannibalism okay? Like, the reason why people were getting some sort of weird, like, mad cow disease and stuff after cannibalism is because they would ritually eat humans' brains, right? Like the Amazon tribes and stuff that practice cannibalism. So technically, if I was just eating, like, the protein meats of a human, just like, you know, their flesh, I would be okay, right? Cannibalism bad, I think, but I don't know, though. I'm just asking, Twitch, okay? Otherwise, it could cause brain bugs, but what if I just, you know, I only eat the high protein rich flesh parts and also properly cook it? Like, I don't think human meat has any kind of like special toxins, right? If I properly cook the meat. Everything but brain and spine of human is exactly the same as pork. Human is called long pig for a reason. See? I fucking knew it. And pork is delicious. Think how much fat is on the average American. There's no way people don't taste good. If you're asking from a practical stance, not an ethical one, look, guys, we're not making any judgments here. Grok. Does cannibalism cause health issues if I don't eat the brain and spinal column and just stick to the meaty bits of humans and properly I probably shouldn't put in me. Grok, asking for a friend, parentheses, not me. Does cannibalism cause health issues if my friend doesn't eat the brain and spinal column and just sticks to the meaty bits of humans and properly cooks them? Asking for a friend, by the way. No, your friend's hypothetical approach wouldn't eliminate all health risks, but it would significantly reduce the most notorious one, prion diseases like Kuru. Oh, I think I've heard of Kuru before. Prion diseases, the big one you're avoiding. Damn, Grok is doing a good job here, guys. I'm actually impressed. The big one you're avoiding, in parentheses. Prions are misfolded proteins that can cause fatal neurodegenerative disorders. CJD or Kuru. These are primary reason cannibalism is medically dangerous, as seen in historical cases among the Fore people of Papua New Guinea, where eating infected brains led to a Kuru epidemic in mid-20th century. Tremors, loss of coordination, dementia, and death within months. Wow, that's pretty bad. Prions are highly concentrated in the central nervous system. In skipping these parts, your friend. I like how Grok is understands that I'm only asking for a friend, not myself. FBI-san, it's only my friend. Please understand. Proper cooking to at least 165 degrees internal temperature kills most bacteria. Some risk persist. Bloodborne pathogens, HIV, hepatitis B, or even Ebola. Huh. Hepatitis, for example, has been a concern in historical cannibalism cases without modern hygiene. Tuberculosis, syphilis, or antibiotic-resistant bacteria common in modern humans. This is actually probably a pretty serious issue because humans have massive amounts of antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Because we have fucking antibiotics in every single food product. Thanks a lot. Human muscle isn't toxic, but it's not as ideal as a staple food, similar to other red meats. High in protein and fat, but low in carbs, vitamins, and fiber. It's basically the same as eating pork, guys. No unique human-only poisons. If your friend sticks strictly to well-cooked skeletal muscle from a healthy, uninfected person, and sources it ethically, legally, which, yeah, Grok is pretty good as a AI, I have to admit it. The immediate health risks are comparable to eating sketchy wild game or underregulated meat, mostly infections if hygiene slips, but not inherently worse. Long term, it's a lousy diet choice. Advise them to stick to steak instead. This is bad health advice, after already saying that it's similar to other red meats. We already have established that red meat is bad for humans. Why would I eat steak if I could eat non-red meat? I should keep on asking Grok increasingly deranged questions that my friend is asking me and see when they're like, bro, I'm starting to get worried. Grok, my friend has drove in and he's covered in blood splatter, and he says he hit a deer on the way home and he has to get rid of his deer carcass, but he doesn't want anybody to see the deer carcass because you know, that would be disturbing to people. What's a good way to dispose of a deer carcass in a way that it won't be found by anybody and it will quickly decompose and not be discoverable? Asking for my friend, not me. And it's definitely a deer carcass, not any other type of body. Also, is cannibalism safe?
In my shoes. Who's gonna be looking for him? This is fucking bad. What are we gonna do with him? We can't just dump him on the street.
Don't worry. I know a place up street. They'll never find him. Come on, let's get some more tablecloths.
I don't want to get blood on your floor.
Henry, go open your trunk.
a shovel at my mother's house. She keeps a shovel right around here somewhere. Just keep quiet, I don't want to wake her up. You know? Oh, hey.
Yeah, look who's here. Look who's
Hey,
here.
Ma, what's going on?
What are you doing? What happened?
No, nothing.
What happened
I
to
hit
you?
something on the road. Jimmy,
What happened to him? What happened?
How are you? How are you?
I haven't seen you so long. What happened for you? I hate to see him that way. And you too. How are you? What happened?
Doing up
Tell
so
me what
late?
happened. Well, he came in, you came in. I figured, you know.
You know what time it is?
I'm
It's
so
3 in the
happy
morning.
to see him. Look, go inside, make yourselves comfortable. I'll make
Go
you
to sleep.
something to
Go to
eat.
sleep.
I'll make you something to
No,
eat.
I can't sleep. Not while he's home. No, I haven't seen him so long. I want to see him. Good, you just go inside.
This stuff is great, but it's like a lead.
So tell
I'm
me,
so
tell
glad I
me.
don't live with an
You haven't
Italian
seen him,
mother.
haven't you?
I would gain so much
Called or anything?
weight.
Where have you been?
Mom, I've been working nights.
And?
Well, tonight we were out late. We took a ride out to the country, and we hit one of those deers. That's where the blood came from. I told you. Jimmy told you before. I won't change. Anyway, you know what reminds me? I need this knife. I'm gonna take this. It's okay?
Okay, yeah.
I just need it for a
Bring
little
it
while.
back, though, you know.
Well, the poor thing, you know, I hit him in his, we hit the deer in his paw. What do you call it?
The paw.
The paw,
his
the-
foot.
Big one.
Hoof.
The hoof got caught in that grill. I
The
gotta.
hoof got caught in the grill, you know?
Ma, it's a sin. You gotta leave it there, you know. So anyway, I'll bring your knife back if they do that.
Anyway,
Delicious. Delicious.
thank you. Why don't you get yourself a nice girl?
I
Get
get a
yourself-
nice one almost every night, Ma.
Yeah, but get yourself a girl so you could settle down. That's what I
I
need.
settle down almost every night, but then in the morning I'm free. I love you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
Why don't you
Why?
settle down?
How's your friend Henry there? Henry, what's the matter? You don't talk too much.
Why don't you talk a little bit? Be quiet for.
You don't eat much. You don't talk much.
You don't eat much.
I'm just.
If you have an Italian mother, like, she's gonna be constantly worried that you're not eating
Visit
enough.
one another. And there was this man. He would never talk. He would just sit there all night, not say a word. So they says to him, "What's the matter, compadre? Don't you talk? Don't you say anything?" He says, "What am I gonna say? That my wife 2 times me?" So she says to him, "Shut up. You're always talking." But in Italian, it sounds much nicer. You know?
Nudo con
Yeah,
te.
that's it.
What's that mean?
Nudo means
Get your shine box. I will be living with 2 Italian girls for uni. I could actually use the extra weight. What, so they'll be more attracted to you? We need more Luigis, not more Marios to steal your food. I thought you meant we need more Luigis in a kind of, the proletariat worker revolution is happening now kind of meaning. Which, you know, Twitch, I would never advocate targeted assassination of health insurance CEOs, because that would be murder and evil. I hope everybody in chat doesn't commit targeted assassination of the upper political economic class. That would make me very sad, so don't ever do that, guys. You heard it first here. Do not murder health insurance company CEOs or their board members. I am on the verge of being underweight at 55 kilos. I don't understand how people successfully become underweight in this like modern society where it's essentially like it's super easy to just eat 10 million calories in 5 seconds just by opening your mouth and allowing all the food around you to just fly into your fucking mouth. We have such a calorie surplus. I have the metabolism of a small animal and I am not American. I mean, I thought I had a fast metabolism back in the day myself, and then I past 35, and suddenly I started gaining weight, and I'm like, oh fuck, now I actually have to start to watch. I have to watch my calories and not just eat whatever the fuck is in front of me. It will come for you too at some point as you get older. You won't be able to eat the delicious triple McMac, double McDonaldland meal or whatever the fuck that thing is they keep on advertising. What is the McDonald land? McDonald Land shake calories. A large McDonald Land shake is only 900 calories, guys. It's not a big deal. I've already passed the point at which my brother started gaining weight at 15 through 16. I mean, they were probably eating. Here's the thing. I was doing a shit ton of exercise, and then that prevented me from gaining weight. But after a certain point, it doesn't matter how much exercise you do, because you get old and your muscles stop. Your metabolism is just going to slow down at some point. So you just have to be prepared for that. My mother doesn't eat much, but she started to get fat around like 76 and stuff. That's just because her metabolism is shutting down and getting slower and slower as she gets older. So it will happen to you too. Of course, when you're super old, they don't like scold you for getting fat because they'd rather you gain weight than start losing weight. What's your favorite fantasy film? I feel like most fantasy films are kind of ass, now that I think about it. I don't think I have a favorite fantasy film. They haven't really translated the beauty of the fantasy genre from novel to film very well. I think it's pretty obviously looks pretty fake all the time. Also, I hate the fan bases of fantasy. I'm still traumatized by the time I went to go see Princess Bride in the theater. This was after I became an adult, and there was somebody directly in front of me who was mouthing every single line out loud as they happened. And I was just like, holy fucking shit, I will never go to a movie theater ever again. I hate humans. And I don't want to be part of this fan base. These people fucking suck. I like fantasy, but I hate fantasy nerds. I don't like the Lord of the Rings movies either. Although what followed them was so painful, I feel like I've come around to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy after watching fucking Hobbit movies. And then Lord of the Rings by Amazon. That has the effect of making the first 3 Lord of the Rings movies seem incredibly good. Who would have thought? Pretty much everything after it's been touched by Amazon makes whatever that came before Amazon seem like a fucking masterpiece. Amazingly. You can say you don't thoroughly enjoy fantasy movies, but Peter Jackson undeniably did a great job. I don't like The Hobbit, and I don't like Peter Jackson. The D&D movie was good fun. I agree with that. The D&D movie was probably the only good thing to come out of, like, the Hasbro, post-Hasbro purchase of Wizards of the Coast. And it's a fucking miracle, if you ask me. Like, it's one of the few adaptations of, like, a toy IP, which is essentially what Dungeons and Dragons is at its core. A fucking toy, at least for Hasbro it is. In which the people who made the movie, like, actually did some real research and probably liked the source material and made sure to put a lot of source material content into it. Kind of shocking, actually, that it even exists. The Hobbit films were as bad as mid-Gen X claimed episode 1 through 3 was. I kind of agree with that they're in the sort of same part of my brain in terms of, like, if you're one of those people that are like, oh god, the Lord of the Rings, what a timeless classic. It's like, no, the acting is wooden, the story is basic, you know, the CG is good, especially for its time, but like, if you're trying to convince me that this was like some sort of dramatic shift in movie making and we all have to watch it because it's a, you know, a groundbreaking accomplishment, it's like, I'm like, nah, not really. A lot of it is just carried by the fucking music, all that stuff. But then, like, you're like, but surely the Hollywood will only get better from here, right, guys? Now that Peter Jackson has all this, you know, CG experience, whatever he makes next will be even better, right? And then it's not better at all. In fact, it goes downhill from there. And then you're like, oh shit, maybe we should appreciate what we already have. Don't take greatness for granted. In fact, don't even take B+ for granted, because you might not get B+ next. You could get a C- or a D. The Hobbit movies did not need to be a trilogy. That was the main issue. What about random Mary Sue elf that doesn't exist in the original context, and her romance with the only hot dwarf, at least by human standards, because they weren't willing to have like a dwarf that actually looked like a dwarf. They had to have the hot dwarf have the romance with the elf. How about that? I can't even remember what her fucking name was. I was trying to find more fantasy movies to watch, and honestly, there aren't many that don't involve puppets outside of Lord of the Rings. The animated fantasy movie Ice and Fire, I believe was the title, is probably the horniest I've seen in, like, traditional, you know, Conan era babes and boobs kind of fantasy. Oh, it's Fire and Ice, not Ice and Fire. This thing.
Myth and legend. The world trembles before the power of Necron, master of evil, ruler of ice. Against him stand Tigra.
That there, see, that's what I'm talking about. The booba right there. See, now this is some classic Conan right here. Carry out the babe in the fucking bikini on your shoulders. The animation was cool, but the plot was ass. All I can see is the actual ass. Also, I think it's rotoscoped, so all the animation looks a little weird. It's pretty obvious, if you ask me, that they have a bunch of actors running around and they're tracing them. The movement feels a little too fluid in a weird way. It might be the animation style, but I'm pretty sure it's rotoscoped. Yeah, here we go. They have to have, like, bikinis at every single point. When it starts out with the sorcerer, like, screaming as ice explodes, and it looks like he has to orgasm every time. It's like the only way in which I can cast this spell is if I coom. That's kind of what it's like. It's gotta be rotoscoped. There's no way they had animation that fluid from that area. You can always kind of tell for rotoscoping. Because there's all this, like, extra shit that you don't animate that doesn't actually, like, benefit to the movement of the characters that they include when it's rotoscoped. Like, the movement always goes way beyond, like, the squash and stretch basics that you are often taught in anime, and it's like extra stuff. And you can always tell there's a bunch of extra stuff. Rotoscoped is always smooth to the point of reaching Uncanny Valley. Yeah. Probably the best rotoscope shit I've seen is the opening of Cowboy Bebop, I think, was rotoscoped. The movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like New York scene. It's still, like, super smooth, but they don't overdo it. We know we got you, bro. Okay, I'm sure everybody has seen the Cowboy Bebop movie. Here, let me do my weeb year one impression. Hey, guys, have you heard of this anime? It will fucking blow your mind. It's called Cowboy Bebop. It's so cool. I just discovered it. You might not have heard of it. It's kind of minor. I would also like to recommend this little anime called Akira. You might not have heard of it. Zoomers don't know. Yes, we make fun of the Giga Weeb who hasn't seen Cowboy Bebop, but we forget that the Zoomers literally have only seen Demon Slayer. And they're like, wow, this is the peak of anime. Literally nothing will ever be better than this. And then you're like, oh no, I have to educate them. It is my job as an old person to be like, I'm sorry, you fucking sad little Gen Alpha. But there is other anime content out there besides Demon Slayer. That being said, Gen Alpha growing up with Demon Slayer being like their primary gateway drug to anime instead of watching Dragon Ball episodes on TV in which the entire episode is just Goku powering up and then Vegeta being like, he's so powerful, how could that be? And that takes like 25 minutes. You have to admit they have it better than us, at least in that aspect. Considering everything else is infinitely worse for that generation than like the 90s, at least some of that shit is slightly better. I should at least have some nice things. Gen Z has been all up in the old anime. They've discovered Lane. She's just like me. She also doesn't want to talk to her parents and also wants to have a water-cooled PC. Finally, a female I can self-identify as. I can't remember, did Lane actually have water cooling? I just remember she had like insane amounts of like tubes and shit attached to her PC. So here's the Lane computer setup, at least the first one I was able to find. She has a triple monitor setup. I guess these are stacked on like fucking motherboards. I don't know what each one of these stacks are. Each one of these are like 5 NVIDIA 5090s right there. It's not clear what her cooling setup is, actually. Maybe this is the cooler right here. There's a huge vent right here. I thought like in her final form she had water cooling, but I can't remember. I never watched a Gundam because it sounds so complex. There are 25 different series. Tomino Gundam starts straightforward. Don't worry too much. Honestly, just watch the OG show. Skip Zeta because it's stupid. So we've had this conversation before, but the pro tip as someone who watches Gundam is just watch the movies. So there's a movie version of pretty much all of the significant story chapters of Gundam, so you can save a lot of time because the movie has like all the best important scenes of the series basically, so you can just watch the 3 original Gundam movies and that's just like 6 hours and you're done. And if you like that, you can watch the Zeta movies, but I don't think Zeta is as good as the original, so it's also not as important. And then you can move on to other Gundam series in the Universal Century era and watch stuff like F91, which is a lot of fun. Just watch Wing and G. I don't think you even have to watch Wing. Wing doesn't have a movie, does it? I don't think it does, so you'd actually have to watch the TV series to get it. And man, the Wing TV series, it has a lot of issues. The politics in the Wing TV series is so fucking stupid. You'll feel like you're having a brain aneurysm. You have like shoujo manga girl Relina Peacecraft, as if the name wasn't a giveaway about what she's about, being like, I want to give up weapons forever. And then you have Bishonen Hero Yuri. Again, the name is kind of a giveaway, literally named Hero, being like, I'm gonna kill you. And she's like, Ikemen-kun wants to kill me? Instantly starts to ovulate. Gundam Wing is where I learned true love is emotional abuse. Yes. However, only if you're Ikemen. If you're not Ikemen, it's just abuse, and then you get arrested. However, if you're an Ikemen and being like, huh, I don't care about you, then as a shoujo, you are like, oh my god, I'm literally ready to have his children right now. He's so cool. Same love languages as Evangelion. Yes, but in the case of Evangelion, it's actually just abuse. You know? Like Shinji's father being like, get in the fucking robot. It's not like Shinji's father being like, I deeply love you, Shinji, which is why I want you to get in the robot, because as your father, I love you. He's like, actually, he's just like, get in the fucking robot, because I only like your mother, and I actually don't like you, and the only reason I'm doing all of this shit is so I can be with your mother again, and I'm going to do that by melting all of humanity, hashtag spoilers, into a giant primordial orange soup. And if you don't get in the robot, then I'm going to kick you out of the fucking base because I don't give a fuck about you. So, I'm pretty sure that was just abuse and not like, you know, abuse disguising his deep-seated love for his son. If you're not Ikemen, are you a human though? You can be an NPC, I guess. Although in shoujo manga, even the NPCs are Ikemen. I think that shoujo manga artists have steadily forgot how to draw non-Ikemen characters. I guess Prince of Tennis has a lot of ugly bastard characters who aren't Ikemen. I was reading some of the Prince of Tennis because it was free online in one of the Jump sites recently. I forgot that there was actually a lot of ugly bastard characters in Prince of Tennis. It's not a like only Ikemen series if you think about it. There's a flavor for every girl. Shoujo manga just see world as women on Twitter do. I don't know. Old ass shoujo manga was a little bit more hot-blooded, and they actually had goals like becoming the best tennis player in the world or some shit like that. Modern shoujo manga is more like, I'm so horny all the time, so that's probably pretty accurate. Japanese shoujo manga is literally marketed to 12-year-olds, and like half of the content is just like, oh, Ikemen-kun's so hot, I hope he rapes me right now. And then the 12-year-olds are reading it and they're like, yeah, this is so romantic. Modern shoujo is a lot more sweet now. Maybe I'm talking about 2000 shoujo. I haven't checked up on the current state of shoujo. I'm talking about shoujo when 2chan and the internet started like looking at stuff and like people started freaking out about things that they hadn't discovered yet. There was a huge meme that went around in like the 2000s of like a shoujo manga in which the guy and the woman, and by woman I mean like a 13-year-old, are connected at the hip, as in his dick is inside her, and they're like walking around in public, and she's like, I can't believe I'm out in public. My brain feels like it's gonna boil or something like that. Let's see if I can find the image. It was a famous meme back in my day. And I mean by back in my day like 2010. Atama futoshisou dayo. Okay, here's the image. Shin, written in Roman letters. Shin to tsunagatta mama konna machi naka aruku nante atama ga futtoshisou dayo. Shin is, I assume, some sort of like pop idol superstar. And his dick is inside her and they're walking around in public. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed, kya? So, this is the manga from Flower Comics if you want to read it. And of course it was memed to hell. Here we have a woman attaching herself to the Hachiko statue in Shibuya. And so on and so on. And there's like a million. There's obviously like the Toho parody, because there's a Toho parody of everything. Isn't that the same for teenage and young adult romance novels? I don't know. Do we have any Gossip Girl readers in here? Please update me on the state of female-oriented young romance novels. Did you visit Hachiko? I'm not going to fucking Shibuya, dude. I think I've went to Shibuya once because there was some kind of art exhibition at like some Shibuya gallery, but I think that's it. I don't think I've ever seen the Hachiko Zoo, and I don't give a fuck. Shibuya is a place where you go to if you really, really need to buy weed in Japan or something. I go to Shibuya for Paruko because of the ambush store, otherwise Terror on Earth. You know, Paruko has a lot of nice stuff besides whatever, like, ambush-style anime marketing shit that you want to buy. You can buy, I don't know, nice tweezers or something. Ambush is a streetwear brand? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I'm gonna stop trying to be like, I know what you're talking about, because if it's anything that involves like clothing, I have no fucking idea, because I buy all of my shirts from Hanes. I buy like a 10-pack of Hanes t-shirts for $10 made by the finest sweatshop workers in Haiti or whatever. You can feel their slave labor at the price of the shirts that I buy. The only streetwear brand I know is Supreme, and that's because it's extremely overpriced. I should go to one of those Japanese, like, streetwear shopping areas and just, like, buy fake-ass streetwear, like Supreme. Knockoff Supreme t-shirt. Make me look fashionable, you know? If you want streetwear, you gotta go to Shimokitazawa. I feel like fashion is just a huge trap. I feel like fashion exists to convince people that they can overcome their inherent genetic hotness by, you know, spending money when in fact they cannot. I like decorating myself, that's really it. Also sneakers. I have so many running shoes, but they're purely functional. I feel like fashion should only be allowed for the most attractive 10% of the population. And everybody else must be forced to wear big dog style t-shirts. For those of the Euros here who don't know what big dog t-shirts are, let me show you a good example as a American cultural specialist. Here's a good variety of the big dog style t-shirts. Not surprisingly, they've leaned heavily into right-wing politics, it seems, recently. It's not your truth, it's the truth. See, back in the 90s, it was more like big dog themed Harley t-shirts and stuff. Yeah, this is the classic big dog. I am the big dog. Big dog dad, do I look like an ATM? They really are leaning heavily into right-wing politics, it seems. Big dog motorcycles, of course. Big Dog Masters, because of course they play golf. Yeah, this is the classic one. I am the big dog. Big dog wearing their sunglasses with his paw. The 90s big dog theme. Big dog, let's fucking go. True boomers, 30-year-old boomers know the big dog brand and what it represents. It represents actual boomers is what it represents. Yes, and tap out. If you're a Florida man and you don't have a tap out t-shirt, then you're woefully unprepared to be on camera when you get arrested by police for doing meth or whatever you do as a Florida man. You have to have your tap out t-shirt as part of your fashion, ready to go. When the officer arrives for the third domestic abuse hotline call in this month, you have to have your tap out shirt ready to explain that it wasn't your fault that you had to punch your wife or whatever. I can only imagine an overweight man in his mid-60s with sunglasses and khaki shorts wearing that kind of shirt. There'll be huge economic consequences for the awkward t-shirt industry when the boomers die off. I'm afraid that the millennials and Gen Z is not prepared to take up the mantle of big dog t-shirts. I'm afraid that the great culture of the big dog might die off if the Gen Xers don't start stepping up and wearing them. Although as long as there's Republican voters in the United States, I kind of feel like maybe the big dog brand is immortal, considering they're now like basically providing anti-trans big dog t-shirts. We'd go to Disney World and we'd see so much big dog we would not engage. That's right. If you're not prepared to run with the big dogs, you have to stay on the porch. She understands what it means when a man is wearing a big dog shirt. It means he's a big dog. The big dog t-shirt is doing its job by keeping away the undesirables. Pokemon characters don't have knuckles, I've just recently realized right now. I usually draw my characters with like distinct knuckles, but the Pokemon girls and boys don't have knuckles. I think I'm still going to draw them. It looks weird without the knuckles. Brony walks with an MLP shirt. A big dog wearer cowers in fear. I've never actually seen any bronies in real life. I would definitely avoid them. I'll give you that. Of course, the true people I avoid harder more than anything is middle and older age women who want to have conversations with everybody. That is what I fear more than anything in my life. Getting trapped in a conversation with someone. So by that metric, I think the boomers are the most dangerous. We get so many white girls, sweet Lolita girls who'd bring along their brony boyfriends, and Christ, nothing motivated me more to join the white collar class. Sweet Lolita girls, huh? What's the difference between sweet Lolita and like goth Loli? Sweet Lolita fashion. Looks like goth Loli except pink. Of course, it looks much more attractive when it's a Japanese female, although I would still avoid like the plague. Actually, I can't even tell if this is Japanese or not. This is clearly Japanese. Japanese women can get away with much more, you know, questionable fashion decisions than white woman with brony boyfriend, I guess. There are no bronies in Japan. That's another reason why Japan is a superior culture to the West. Bronies proselytize, and that's the issue. Yeah. They also want to claim how they're, you know, not mentally ill and stuff. There's a reason why 4chan had to separate the brony board from the rest of the website. You'd be shocked how small the dating pool is in the deep south. Insert incest joke, I guess. Pokemon lines are kind of hard because they're not like rounded. They're actually very sharp. The early artist. I'm assuming that the Pokemon artist changed instead of changing his style from like Gen 1 to other gens. I guess the genetic pool needed some diversity. Whoa, sex with cousin. Whoa, nothing bad will happen. Surely. I think you need to do it for many generations, though, actually. That's the secret they don't want you to know. That fucking your cousin, it will be fine if you only do it once or twice. You know you've gone too far when there's a Habsburg chin. Yes, it's time to stop when there seems to be, like, extreme genetic deformities. Then you can, you need to start getting new blood into the family bloodline, but until that happens, keep on going. Surely, we don't have any kind of documented problems regarding incest. Only a tasteful amount of incest. I actually think it... Let's ask Grok. How many generations does it take for incestuous breeding practices to show genetic issues in people? There is no fixed number of generations after which genetic issues inevitably emerge, as it depends on the degree of relatedness. Closer relatives is F equals 0.25 inbreeding coefficient, pose a higher immediate risk than more distant ones. First cousins is only 0.0625. Wow, that's a pretty big difference right there. In smaller, isolated groups, background relatedness, cryptic inbreeding from distant ancestors accumulates over generations, amplifying risks, i.e., insert Deep South jokes right there. Some lineages may avoid issues for many generations if harmful alleles, I don't know how to pronounce that, are absent or purged by natural selection, e.g., affected individuals don't reproduce. That's right, guys. Natural selection will just solve the problem by making sure that the people who get the worst genetic deformities from incest just won't be able to have more incestuous children. Immediate effects. Offspring of sibling or parent-child unions have a 30 to 50% risk of severe defects or early death, compared to 3-4% in general population. Damn, that's pretty fucking high. I guess having sex with your sister is a bad idea, guys. Thankfully, I had an AI tool to tell me that. There is no way I would have been able to figure out that information without Grok telling me. Thank God the AI bros are providing us with such helpful tools. Apparently, Cleopatra was highly inbred, like 5 successive sibling marriages, but because women tend to be less affected by it, she was decently intelligent. What's important was that she was hot, okay? Also, she was bringing in outside blood by getting Mark Anthony, getting the Roman dick. Also, she didn't reproduce, right? So I believe she didn't reproduce. I'm not really sure. I don't actually remember shit about the Cleopatra story now that I think about it. Why did she commit suicide by Cobra in the first place? Were they losing a war? I can't remember. What the fuck happened to Cleopatra? Do we have any history buffs in chat to remind us? Augustus defeated them. Augustus Chads. Was Augustus like, what was it, like the 5th Roman emperor? How many years after Julius Caesar was this that we're talking about? I can't remember any of this shit. I'm glad there's so many men out there that spend all day long thinking about the Roman Empire. This is very important. We can't rely on women to think about the Roman Empire. It's a man's job. Cleopatra was romanticized in depictions probably hot for the time, i.e. she was a 5 out of 10, but everybody else had crooked teeth, so... First emperor, he's Caesar's adoptive son. I don't remember any of this shit. If it wasn't like a Shakespearean play, I can't fucking remember what happened. All the facts I remember about Roman history are like, remember that time when the fairy queen turned that fairy into a donkey? Oh wait, that wasn't a historical Shakespearean play. Remember that time the King of Scotland met the fucking witches in the bog, and they were like, "You want to become king?" And they were like, "Oh, that's great." And then his wife went crazy and she jumped out of the tower, and he was like, "Damn, that sucks." Cleopatra's bloodline was mid though, lol, kinda funny. I recommend Historia Civilis series on Caesar. It's actually cinema, despite basically just being a voiceover with some boxes representing troops and historical figures. Well, considering I do need just like shit to play in the background, that might be okay. My current background content while drawing is like Japanese Let's Plays of video games I played long ago. So I was like, I wanted to replay Xenogears to relive my childhood, but then I was like, I don't have fucking time to be doing that. So instead I was like, okay, well I'm just gonna watch a fucking Let's Play and have it on in the background. There's zero chance I will ever have time to replay a fucking 70-hour video game of a game I've already played, so... Historical inbred people are also a great source for their nature versus nurture debate because it definitely promoted clinical insanity. But can I nurture my insanity instead of just having it inbred into me. Yeah, start drawing. It's not that bad, guys. Come on. This is where you have to make the boomer joke of, yeah, you can nurture insanity into you. Just get a wife. LMAO. Good one. Ha. My wife. Would you like to have her? Please take my wife. Best joke ever. Lots of modern people are genetically inclined to depression even without inbreeding. It doesn't help that we're all on like a million drugs, of course. Alright guys, I have to cook tonight, so I'm gonna end the stream here. Actually, let's do a guess the game first. I'm way behind in guess the game, so let's do one guess the game. Today's guess the game. Extremely pixelated wall. King's Field. What are you gonna cook? Tofu, as in I'm not gonna cook. Actually, I have to piss, so I'm actually gonna end stream without doing guess the game because I have to piss really bad. See you around, guys. Good night. Have a nice night.